And exhale, come back to child's pose, where you can take a moment to breathe and relax. Beautiful. Thank you for joining me in this session. Don't forget to breathe and happy stretching.
Everyone's sentence these days starts like, before COVID, I tried or thought this or so on. So COVID's been a very interesting journey for us. Fortunately, everyone still drinks coffee. It seems like the last thing everyone's willing to give up. So it's clearly been quite a robust business.
For our final Royal Hustler for us here at the Coast, and we're so excited to be able to speak to friends of the show which we've had before, so it's nice to catch up with him. I'm talking about Dennis Devat, who's from Slowtown Coffee Roasters, and they're at the coast now. They're coasting, they're at the beach, feeling the sand, feeling the seagulls, darling, and feeling everything beautiful, alongside their traditional Slowtown signature, very enticing smell of freshly brewed coffee. And I have to tell you, where they're located is so sublime, so sublime. So another exciting fun fact about Slowtown in Swakopmund is that this is where they roast their beans. And this is where they sample them until they find, that liquid gold that we all yearn for. And it's also for this reason why they turned the roastery into a coffee shop, because the art of sipping on Slowtown coffee, even with sampling, is called for chairs and tables. And that's how a beautiful, cozy courtyard turned into Slowtown's Swakopmund shop. So, like I said, he's no stranger to 99 FM. Dennis is once again a Royal Hustler, but this time around, we're talking about what is happening right here at the Coast. Dennis, welcome again to the show.
Good, thank you. Nice being here.
So let's begin with the first shop. I know that you opened up your first Slowtown shop in 2011. And how has really the opening up the company and the journey thereof impacted your life thus far?
I think it's been, for me, obviously in the long run, a positive impact, because it's taken me out of an office cubicle environment, because I used to work in corporate, and the whole idea of Slowtown was for me to actually get out and do something I enjoy. So looking back, obviously it's been a fun ride, not always easy as it looks, but it's definitely been worth every ounce of effort we've put in. Yeah, it's been awesome.
And also looking at COVID-19, I mean, a lot of businesses were hard hit. How did you guys weather the storm?
Yeah, I think COVID, everyone's sentence these days starts like, before COVID, I tried or thought this or so on. So COVID's been a very interesting journey for us. Fortunately, everyone still drinks coffee. It seems like the last thing everyone's willing to give up. So it's clearly been quite a robust business. But obviously we took shots. We've been locked down, locked up. Nearly, kind of harassed by army officials. And also we've had our interesting ups and downs. The staff's been amazing. Obviously they've been through everything, and so we've kind of learned as we go along how to just stay robust and fix the systems that need to be fixed and so on. So we're still not through it. So it makes planning difficult, but I think, being Namibian, we used to different types of challenges. So it's been tough, but it's been good in many ways.
Yeah. And like you said, everybody, still drinks coffee. I mean, it doesn't matter where you go. So my next question was going to be about, the people of Swakopmund and how they've taken to Slowtown.
Yeah, so Swakop has always been kind of the genesis of Slowtown. And another, just kind of an example of COVID's been, that's the strength of our local community. you've just realized how strong our support base is. And Swakop is just, if you look out the window now, all you want to do is drink coffee. I mean, it's always this misty, laid-back setup. So in many ways, it kind of carries a big part of the spirit of Slotan. It's just chilling out a little bit, taking it easy, trying to enjoy the moment, even though everything's a bit of chaotic around us. So Swakop's been, it is a sleepy town, but it's been an awesome place to build a business from, because it's always been from a place of rest type of thing.
So does that mean now that, Mos, it's very laid back? I know also you're an avid surfer. Have you abandoned us in Windhoek? Or are you finding yourself spending more time here at the coast trying to build the business?
So having the perks of being the boss, I can kind of decide where I want to be and send who I want to send. So Windhoek's always nice in short bursts for me, but Swakop will be home for a while. It's just, again, it's a nice place to build a business from. But I enjoy Windhoek when I'm there because it's obviously the buzz of the country. But I need to stay here just to make sure everything's ticking over. So I'm using that as a good perk.
No, I totally agree with you. I was even talking to my boss, like, if there's going to be a satellite 99 FM at Swakop, I call dibs, because you're right. Windhoek in spurts is really, really good. Mo, I want to go off air because I really want to find out from Dennis what really happened during the lockdown, because it seems like Slotan got into a little bit of a naughty trouble. So I want to hear about that. What do you have on the lineup for us?
Ariana Grande saying 7 rings.
Yes, so I was just getting the tea, or rather the coffee, from Dennis while we were off air. But
I see what you did there. I
know. So Dennis, our research does show that at one point you had sold over 30,000 cups of coffee, which is really quite impressive. Where does that number stand now?
I think the idea of the 30,000 hot or coffees we sell a month is more to kind of show the consistency needed and how much faith, we have to put into our baristas that they literally deliver the same type of coffee over and over. So it's just the type of business we're in there's so many variables between us roasting the coffee, having it sent to the shops, putting in the grinder, having it ordered, and then having the baristas and the amazing staff that we have just to kind of deliver that consistency over and over, month by month. That's obviously kind of the risk that we run. You can build a brand, but unless the coffee is good being sent out every time, it makes a challenge. So that's kind of the number for me, thinking, listen, guys, you need to do this perfectly every time. So we're hovering around there, obviously COVID up, COVID down. So again, like I said before, it's been quite a robust business going through this. Luckily, the addiction is strong. So I'm happy.
In terms of what sets this coffee shop apart from the one in Windhoek, what would your selling point be, and what's the uniqueness that this coastal shop has?
Look, with Swakop, that was kind of where everything started. So for us, it's also a bit of a less is more approach. You'll see the menu's very limited. The whole setup is run very cleanly and leanly, but it's kind of, when you walk in, the idea is that you just chill. And that kind of, again, is part and parcel of what Slotan is and what Swakop is. It's a community coffee shop. That's why we don't run this whole franchise business model and whatnot. Everything's owned. Everything's part of the family, and everything has its own character. The manager and the staff kind of carry that kind of atmosphere. So Swakop is always going to be your full-on community kind of setup. We're not tourist-based. Obviously, we welcome them anytime, but it's run for the community, and that's kind of everyone that carries us through this thing is the community. So that's kind of what we love about the whole shop. It's where people connect. It's where they chill out, hang out, where they kind of have their 10 minutes of silence. So that's the idea of Swakop. And I think when you walk in, that's kind of what you'll experience there.
And finally, the feature of Slotan. I know you said that you don't want the franchise kind of business model. But can I twist your arm and feet and everything that you have that can be twisted to have a little slow town in Katima? Just perhaps. But yeah, what is the future of slow town looking like?
I think at this stage, my kind of running motto or quote is, Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face, So, and that's kind of the COVID motto or say thing. So, look, we've had plans and ideas to kind of expand, probably or possibly, cross border and so on. But at this stage, less is more for us. So, and since day one, it's always been organic growth. We've never forced anything. We've never gone and, into a heavy debt to go and build and so on. It's never been a fast growing business. I mean, we're 10 years down the line, and for us, it's just to keep it solid. And where the opportunity arises, we'll always have a look. But at this stage, it's just to build that foundation and then take it from there. And whatever door opens, we'll take. But we very slowly, we're easy not to rush it, because we see too many times people go too quick and then it falls over. So we in the long game. So we'll see where it goes. Ask me in 10 years.
Yeah, well, we're definitely having you back in 10 years just to see how the progression goes. So, Mo, that's over to you. I was speaking to Dennis DeVette. They're slowly but surely building this beautiful empire, and Slow Town is all about.
Every Saturday at 7 p.m., you can stay true to Namibia sounds with the Valentine's True Music Sessions. Only on 99 FM. Stay tuned. Stay true. There's no wrong way. Valentine's. Not for sale to persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
I think honesty should probably be the number one lesson. Honesty and the ability to make an honest apology when you made a mistake.
Well, yesterday I went kayaking and I was in the water and I had life epiphanies, so to speak. So all of these activities, especially yesterday's activities, not just an activity, it really is an experience. And the man behind the magic from Charlie's Desert Tours is Gerald Kolbe. But before we get to Gerald, how did Charlie's Desert Tours come about? Well, Charlie Gutel was born in Southwest Africa. That was way back in 1911. Where were you in 1911, Mo?
I don't think I was in the streets, but I was around.
Not even a thought yet.
Yeah.
So at the time, Charlie was unemployed without transport for a long time. So what he would walk many kilometers in the Namib desert just in search for work. And during these times, farmers often offered him a meal, accommodation, you know how it goes. And those lonesome works that he used to take, advantage really turned into something very magical. He then founded the company that was initially called Charlie's Atlantic Tours. Now, the godfather of Charlie's Desert Tours has passed away. Unfortunately, he passed away in 1984, but his philosophy still lives on. And then comes the man, Gerald Kolbe. In 2013, he became the proud owner of the legendary Charlie's Desert Tour. And since 1997, he has worked in the tourism industry. He has so much experience. At first, he did guiding private camping safaris in Namibia, in Botswana, in Zambia, in Zimbabwe. So clearly has a passion for this. And this gave him the background and knowledge of the tourism industry and the experience in working with guests from many different cultures, many different backgrounds, and many different personalities, I might add. And he has weathered the storm with Charlie's Desert Tours right now, which I have with him. So we get to learn about the man. Welcome to the show, Gerald. Now I get to finally talk to the man about the man.
Good morning again.
Yeah. So let's jump straight into it, Gerald. Tell us how where you grew up. What was your childhood like, really?
Well, I had a very good childhood, probably boring compared to modern days kids. I grew up in a small town of Karibib. Most people miss it on the way driving to Windhoek to Swakopmund because it's so small. But I grew up in a very simple home. Both my parents were very hardworking people and not very affluent. Grew up in a home with no television, probably the advantage. That made me a creative person because I had time to be creative. And I think gave the foundation to what I've become today.
The thing about was my grandmother was not so average herself, but the life lessons that our parents impart us from where they come from and from the life experiences that they have really does help us in our own walks. What stands out for you? What one lesson from your own parents has shaped the man that you are today?
I think honesty should probably be the number one lesson. Honesty and the ability to make an honest apology when you made a mistake. Most people, when they make a mistake, look for endless strings of reasons and other people's guilt. But to man up to face the mistakes you've made, I think is an important skill.
And very much so, because also it repairs the relationship beautifully so. Your career in tourism, is it something that you foresaw in the future when you were growing up, or it's something that you stumbled upon as you were growing up?
I had no idea about tourism at all. I had never planned or dreamt about tourism. There's something that happened when I lost my previous job in the life insurance industry. I thought initially just a couple of days or weeks until I find a proper career. But I soon realized that this is actually what I'm passionate about and stopped looking for work. And here I am many, many, many years later, still in tourism.
Many, many, many years, but enjoyable years. Now, I hear that Charlie's Desert was actually 40 years, the oldest tour company in Namibia. What has been your secret through longevity, really?
Well, Mo, first to correct you, it's more than 40 years. It was started in 1966 already. But I can't speak really for the reasons of the longevity because I've been with the company for only just over 8 years. But there's a couple of reasons. I think solid and conservative cash flow management and customer and supplier relationship is probably the key to success.
Definitely. Over 40 years, like that is a long time to be in business and just means that you're offering good business. Mo, what do you have on the playlist for us?
Big Sean.
It is like plus 40 years in the business. They are definitely doing something right. So I want to hear from you, Gerald. What separates Charlie's Desert Tours from other companies in the same line of business?
Well, I think our diverse product offerings are definitely an advantage. Some of my competitors have a single product only to operate, and we do a multitude of things. And I think very important, the ability to be flexible and to be innovative. And in these modern days, a company needs to be flexible, and we need to be innovative all the time.
Oh, definitely. And on that note of, of innovation and flexibility, when the pandemic hit, nobody knew how to weather it. So how did you as a company manage the devastating dry spell of business, especially in the tourism industry that was brought on by COVID-19?
Probably one of the most difficult questions you have. We're not done yet with COVID anyway, so this is a continuous problem. So far, we're okay. And I think we're okay at the moment because what I said earlier, conservative cash flow management over the years, one, in business, and B, also in your personal life. The conservative cash flow means that we have funds to survive for the time being at least. But those are also running dry now. It's a very long time.
Yeah, hopefully things will pick up, with the world opening. I know Omicron is not making it so easy for us, but hopefully we'll be able to weather that as well. I mentioned earlier that I had a multitude, I think two or three aha moments in the water. And I would like for others to experience the same, because I'm sure we're all going through an existential crisis of some sort. And there is nothing like an activity that really awakens you, whether it is kayaking. Today I'm doing the Little Five, just being out in nature and out in the open, and loved it. So how can other people experience the same amazement that I experienced?
Well, if you're in Swakopmund, visit us in our office off Sam Nujoma Avenue in the Brauhaus Arcade next to Nedbank. But if you're not in Swakopmund, drop us a call on our office line, or come visit us on our website. Most of the activities local here are actually bookable online. Very easy and simple process. So make your preparations for the Christmas season coming up. Book your activities. Come visit us in our office. It's life changing, as Sibo says.
It is. Thank you so much for coming, Gerald.
Sure. Thank you very much for having me, Sibo.
It is quite an experience that you have to do. It's a must. Listen, if you're not even thinking about coming to the coast, put it in your bucket list, because whether you do it now in December or next year or whenever, when you drop by, you have to visit Charlie's Desert Tours. I was just talking to Gerald Kolb, who is the proud owner of the legendary Charlie's Desert Tour.
Many countries that have passed their first peak of COVID-19 are experiencing a second rise in cases. Is this a second wave of infections, and could even more waves lie ahead? Previous pandemics might give us a clue. The 1918 Spanish flu was the most deadly pandemic in modern history. It killed at least 50 million people. Its second wave was the most deadly by far, killing millions more than the first and third. More recent outbreaks, such as SARS and swine flu, have also had 2 or more waves, so it looks like the COVID-19 pandemic could have several too. The World Health Organization has warned about the dangers of a deadly resurgence. Many countries and places have seen infections accelerate after bringing their first waves under control. These rises aren't necessarily new waves. They could be spikes. Spikes are rapid rises in cases that aren't sustained, whereas waves happen over longer periods and often contain several spikes or peaks. Second waves only take place after a first wave has retreated. Many scientists believe more waves are inevitable and think a worse one could hit during autumn or winter. Some other coronaviruses spread faster when the weather is cold. If this is the case with COVID-19, it would put health systems under huge pressure. Many people are still vulnerable, and immunity to the virus might only last a few months for those who recover. It's also possible that mutations to the virus could lead to new waves. Hundreds of mutations have been found, and some could potentially make the pandemic more severe. One mutation may have already improved the ability of the virus to bind its spike proteins to human cells. This strain of the virus appears to unlock cells more easily and has become dominant around the world. It's unknown how the virus will continue to change, but further mutations could make it even more dangerous and harder to control. A reliable vaccine would help solve many of these problems, but it may take many months or even years to find one. Until then, we all need to make long-term lifestyle changes to protect ourselves from further waves. How are you learning to live in a world with COVID-19?
Beautiful souls, this is Nikita Winkler, and I am here to share easy tools for stretching that you can do just about anywhere. This is a demonstration, so what's most important is that you take the time that your body requires to release the tension that you have. So let's get started. In this session, we will be using all the tools you have and all the tools you need to give yourself a neck massage, a neck and shoulder massage. So first, I'm going to cup my fingers, and I'm going to go to the front of the neck, and I'm going to draw lines down, and then massage up, down, whatever feels good. If you feel the tension, dig into it. I'm going to go to the back of the neck now, using 4 fingers. And you can draw lines from the bottom up, or you can go all the way into the shoulder blades, drawing all that tension up. And last but not least, using the thumb, especially this part of the thumb, to dig into the head, the base of the skull. Create circular movements or line. Go where you find the tension and continue giving your head some pressure, and wow, you're gonna feel so much more alive once you give yourself a massage. So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Don't forget to breathe, and happy stretching.
A rare tropical disease, the Zika virus, is spreading rapidly in parts of Latin America and the Caribbean. In March 2015, the Zika virus first surfaced in Brazil and has infected more than 1 million people. The International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAEA, and the Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, have responded swiftly to the Zika crisis. These UN agencies came together to make available a nuclear technology that controls pests by rendering the males infertile with radiation. This is called the Sterile Insect Technique, or SIT. A group of scientists from around the world gathered in Brazil recently to examine SIT's effectiveness. They have concluded that SIT is an efficient, safe, and environmentally friendly technique to control pests and fight diseases such as Zika. Conceived in the early 1930s, the idea behind SIT is a simple one. It involves bringing the insects into a laboratory, rearing them in large numbers, and sterilizing only the males with ionizing radiation such as gamma or X-rays. For SIT to work, millions of sterile male insects must be released into the wild for several months to outnumber the fertile ones.
What's going to happen is that the sterile males are going to seek out the virgin females, they're going to mate, but there's going to be no offspring. So there's going to be reduced population replacement, and you will see that after a while the target population is going to go down.
At the IAEA's Insect Pest Control Laboratory in Siebersdorf, Austria, entomologists have been developing and improving this technique for over 50 years. It's already been used in around 25 countries, mainly to tackle pests, such as fruit flies and tsetse flies. Experts are now developing techniques for the mass rearing of mosquitoes and transferring them to countries affected by Zika to help them integrate SIT into their pest control programs. Over 100,000 mosquitoes from 3 different species are kept here. Special attention is being given to this one, the Aedes aegypti, which is responsible for spreading the Zika virus.
What we have seen in the past is that Aedes aegypti control with conventional control tools has not been very successful. So we consider this as one additional new tool that could be used to integrate with the conventional methods.
Scientists have created a special environment for the entire life cycle of the mosquito, from the egg to the larvae, to the pupae to the adult. The pests live, feed and mate in large, specially designed cages. Thorough research has determined the right dose of radiation to sterilize the males, without damaging them or affecting their mating ability. In a further step to help countries tackle the Zika virus, the IAEA is providing portable equipment for the rapid detection of the virus. Training scientists from the affected countries to use this system is also underway. When fully implemented and used alongside other control methods, the sterile insect technique could help countries reduce the numbers of mosquitoes and cope better with the diseases that these small but deadly creatures can spread. This report was produced by Louise Potterton for the United Nations.